part 2 of Stranger Things and Jungian Archetypes. Nancy as the sage. I don't think I have to say a whole lot. This girl is after the truth. She wants to become a reporter. She is wearing her best 80s power suit. She's here for it. So, the rebel, I think it's the outlaw on this actual chart that I used in the first part of the video, is Eddie. I mean, Eddie is at the fringes of his high school society. He, again, finds himself as like a literal outlaw in terms of running away. He struggles with this idea of himself as running away, and he finds his bravery in the end, but he still is an outcast, a misfit of sorts, and we love him for it. The flip side, on the shadow side of the outlaw, is the criminal. Now, I don't think Jonathan is cast as a criminal, but I have him here as like an avoided type, right? Jonathan's one of the characters in season 4 I don't feel like we get a lot of time with, but we see him dodging a lot. He's running away in his own right, but not from the law like Eddie is. He's running from his commitment and his relationships, and he does find a way to show up. Like, he shows up really well as a big brother. But again, I think we see Jonathan dodging a lot from my watching of the show. I mean, push back, disagree with me for sure if you've seen something different. I think he shines at the end, but he has to work through all those ways in which he's pushing aside what's really going on for him. And again, not a criminal in the criminal sense, but a criminal in the running away sense. And of course, Steve Harrington, Mr. Steve Harrington, who functions, I mean, he could have been the caregiver in some ways, right? He is the mama bear babysitter himself in a lot of respects throughout the course of the show. But in season 4, he's looking for a connection. And that's the theme of The Lover, looking for intimacy and meaning. And he's seeking that. He's dating a lot of different girls at the beginning of the season, and then he's trying to narrow that down as the season goes on. And he has a dream and a vision of himself as a dad and a husband, and I just think he fits this archetype really well. There's a softness to Steve. Do a whole separate video on the character arc of Steve Harrington over the course of all 4 seasons. He's one of my favorite television characters. So I have Murray as the jester, and this is another one I wrestle with because Murray has a lot of serious roles in the show. I think the jester might be how I'm projecting here a little bit. Might be how the Duffer brothers want us to see him more than how Murray sees himself. Murray takes himself very seriously, but I get a lot of laughs out of that intensity that he brings. He also, I think, has a bit of that jester dynamic with Hopper and Joyce in some of the earlier episodes, and then towards the end of season 4 as well, where he's there to help. He's there to help our main characters maybe not necessarily find levity, but find reason and purpose in the work that they're going after. And again, some part of me feels like it's not fair to cast Murray as the jester, but that's what I notice when I watch him, is that he's there to bring us a bit of levity. He's there to support our main characters in their pursuit of the truth, and he's very likable. Like, we like having him around. So this is solidly not a picture from Stranger Things. But here we have Paul Reiser and Matthew Modine playing dads in Bye Bye Love, which if you're a 90s kid like me, you might have also loved this movie about blended families. It made a lot of sense. And of course, they're both still playing dads in Stranger Things, but in a very different dynamic. So I have them as the ruler and the tyrant. So Paul Reiser as Owens, Sam Owens, is another character who maybe has some questionable moral background as a scientist as part of this massive project in Hawkins, but he's also kind of saved the day a few times. He is a accessible paternal figure, I would say. Again, not flawless, definitely grumpy, but he is demonstrating himself as a resource for these kids, these families, from the kind of the inner edge of this massive scientific endeavor that we don't totally understand yet as the audience. And Matthew Modine as Papa, as Dr. Brenner, is a tyrant. He wants to be in control at all costs. I don't know that he's inherently evil as a character. I hesitate to say that about anybody, I suppose. But he's a tyrant. He is pretty reckless in how he executes a lot of things. At least that's what I see when I watch him, and somehow the notion that 11 calls him Papa just underscores that the ick that comes up with Dr. Brenner. So perhaps just like with Henry, I can hold out hope that there's some transformation or reclamation of Dr. Brenner's character coming in season 5. But yeah, I love these two guys as dads in the 90s, and here they are again, dads in the 2020s. So cool for them. So again, that's my overview of where I noticed these archetypes showing up in Stranger Things season 4. I love the 80s nostalgia. I love how the characters have grown and changed. I love playing with this sort of like liminal space spiritual stuff. So if you like it too, check out the other videos that I've posted. This is a lot of fun for me. I hope you're enjoying it, and let me know what you think. Have a good day.